Karine, I spoke with New York City Mayor Eric Adams this afternoon, and he's just very concerned, as he said in media appearances in recent days, that the White House is not doing enough to prepare for a new surge of migrants, many of whom are going to end up in cities like Chicago, New York, here in D.C. And that, as you know, it's not just DeSantis and Abbott sending buses of migrants to these cities. It's Jared Polis, a Democrat in Colorado as well. So what do you have to say to those concerns from Mayor Adams?
Look, here's what I would say, and I answered this question with one of your colleagues, which is we believe, and we have seen the numbers and the data, that the border enforcement measures have dramatically reduced the number of people attempting to enter the country. And so that's because of the measures that the president has put forth. Look, when the president walked in, the very first piece of legislation that he put forth was an immigration reform bill. That's how seriously he took it. And I know you mentioned a couple of Democrats, but the vast majority of folks who have been pushing back against this have been Republicans. We've seen very, very, in a stark way, the political stunts that they have taken. And those actions are actually working. And so that's how I would answer your question.
Yuma, Arizona, 3 years ago, and in that area, had 8,100 people illegally cross in that year. For that one small town, they were trying to manage 8,100 people crossing 3 years ago. This past year, Yuma, Arizona had 310,000 people illegally cross through their area. So in 3 years, they went from 8,000 people illegally crossing to 310,000 people illegally crossing in a year. They're overwhelmed. May I remind you, the mayor of New York is worried about an additional 40 to 50,000 people in New York City and having a difficult time absorbing that. Yuma, Arizona is trying to figure out how to absorb 310,000 people coming through their community. The issues are complicated and they are difficult, but they're not unachievable. It's an issue of how we're going to enforce the law.
Can we get a reaction on the over 70 Democrats urging the president to reevaluate his asylum restrictions, please?
Look, if you look at what the president put forward in most recently as it relates to the border security and the border security measures, it's actually working. Our measures, again, are working because we are treating this matter with urgency. We're not using it as a political stunt. We're not using it as a political football. We're taking this very seriously. But as you just mentioned, some states are trying to block our success and measures because they would rather use immigration as a political stunt. Again, his measures are the measures that he just put in are working, and we're going to continue to focus on.
And my concern is the numbers are so large and it is so out of control that people are just saying it's too big, I'm not going to deal with it. But the chaos along our border is continuing. Now, the administration has made some bold statements of late. They said we're going to dramatically increase the number of people that are going to have expedited removal attached to them. Now that sounds really severe, expedited removal. They're going to have expedited removal when they get there, except when we ran the numbers to be able to look at it, how many people are actually removed that get expedited removal, the number came back 7%. So expedited removal doesn't actually mean removal. It's just a title that's being placed on individuals. So nothing's really changing there.